Greetings and welcome to STL Soccer Talk here at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and STLtoday.com. I'm Tom Timmermann, beat writer for St. Louis City for the Post-Dispatch, which by process of elimination means this is Beth O'Malley. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Tom.
Well, the end has finally arrived.
Not the end of the season, but the end of the postseason run.
And technically it's not over yet, but it's as close to the edge as you can get. And, City was looking at, if they could beat Minnesota, that could start that late push. Mm-hmm. They were thinking it was a must, they were billing it as a must-win game. They were making no bones about that. They had to win this game.
Right.
And they didn't.
Right.
So I think we can feel confident in saying that this is pretty much ended. The math is still there, but the reality is.
The reality is even bigger than the math at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's just such a slim chance that this team could make the postseason. It is disappointing. You could see it on the players' faces and on Hackworth's face after the game. So.
Yeah, you could tell that there was a meeting with reality after this one. And like so many games, they scored first, they went ahead, they had a lead, and they did not win the game.
They did not win the game.
they have scored first in, it might be 7 consecutive games, and they've won 2 of them. And that just is, last year they won, I think, like 14 games in which they scored first. And this year, I think it's been like 5,
right?
All the wins they've had. But there are so many games in which they have not won.
Yes.
And I think the number is 25 points that they have lost from leading positions this season, the most in the league. And that's not how you make the playoffs.
It's not how you make the playoffs. And you also, they did lose this last game, but you also can't tie your way to the playoffs, which I think is this season's bigger problem, is all of the ties this team settled for.
Yeah. And so now there's 5 games to go, and now it's kind of almost like the preseason for 2025. It's not like baseball where you will call up guys from the minors. I think they're going to work with the group they have, and they've got to see what's the best combinations of Hartl and Teuchert and Klaus and Betcher and Alm and all of these guys, and how is it going to work together.
Right.
And they got to sort out the back line, because allowing goals has been the killer for this team. And the defense is more than just the back line.
Right.
But when you look at the number of goals this team has allowed, you just can't win games, unless they acquire Inter Miami and can score, can outscore everybody. But that's not happening.
It's not happening.
That is not how this team is. But they can't allow that many goals.
Exactly.
That's going to do them in.
And there were 2 VAR reviews during this game. Did I just say basically ATM machine?
You kind of do. Well, actually, VAR is video assistant referee.
Okay, well, good. So review is fine. Yeah. And we will talk about those, I'm sure, during the podcast.
Yes, but City kind of went over 2
on those.
Those. So, but I think we could agree that the calls were.
I think, definitely.
Yeah. So. Anyway, more about this on the podcast as I once again gesture to the room, which you can't see, and more about this in print and online. So remember to subscribe and all those other things that you need to do. We'll be on the podcast later today and be in print. And until then, for Gary manning the cameras today, for Beth, I'm Tom. Be seeing you.